This training lesson will cover the topic of deploying your Visual App Builder desktop application, as well as ongoing support using the live update and tech support applications. Let's take a look at a shortcut for a Visual App Builder desktop project. If we go to the properties, you'll see that the actual executable that's being run is found in the Retriever Software Application Builder folder, and the name of the executable is RS Workstation. The first argument on the command line, the target line, is the name of your project. And so in our previous training lessons we were using test, and that's what would appear here is the word test. If you have other arguments, argument 1, 2, and 3 for your runtime parameters within your application, your Visual App Builder project, then you would specify those on the command line after the name of the project itself. And your start-in folder should be wherever your Visual App Builder project is saved. In our case, we generally create a folder within the Retriever Software folder that has the same name for the folder as the project has for a name. That's really all that you need to do in order to set up a shortcut. We do want to mention that in the Retriever Software Program group, you've got a couple of applications that are very handy for doing ongoing support. One of them is tech support and one of them is live update. We'll go to the tech support here for a moment, and you'll see that it gives you a choice of emailing or using the internet to send a message and appropriate log files to a support technician. Now by default, this application sends an email with zipped up attachments to support@retrieversoftware.com, but you as a independent developer have the option of overriding that behavior and specifying in an INI file an email address and an email subject and additional log files to be zipped and attached to the email, so that if you deploy this for your customers, you can actually have your support email address be the destination for these messages. So still be able to take advantage of this Retriever Software support mechanism without Retriever Software actually having to provide the support for you. The email is pretty straightforward. It uses Outlook Express actually, in order to send the email along with the attachments. It will prompt the user for whether they want to make Outlook Express their default client or not. They're not required to do that. Not all customers are able to successfully email using Outlook Express. The Internet button actually FTPs the message, the text message that describes the problem that the customer is having, along with all the appropriate log files. And again, you as the developer can specify the FTP address to send that information to. The log files that are zipped up are the same in either case, and they include quite a bit of information. They include a text file that contains a list of all the processes that are currently running on the computer. They also contain a zipped up copy of your RF server log files and your SQL .log files, which are the ODBC messages going back and forth between your desktop application and the database. It's basically the equivalent of the RF server log file, only for the desktop applications, which do not go through the COM manager, and therefore their messages are not written to the RF server.log. They are instead written to SQL.log. So all that information is zipped up along with all the version information for all the Retriever Software DLLs is also written to a text file. Hand in hand with the tech support feature is another thing that gets automatically installed with the Retriever Software Program group, and that's the live update feature. And what this does is checks the Retriever Software FTP site for new versions of our live update file. These contain all the DLLs that comprise the entire Visual App Builder development suite and the runtimes for all the devices that are supported and the COM manager itself. So it's a very convenient way for customers to get the latest updates. We say this works hand in hand with tech support because if during the tech support, if a customer has a problem and they issue a tech support and a fix is actually made to either a Visual App Builder project that the customer is using or to one of the DLLs, then this is the mechanism for getting that change back out to that customer. This process automatically does the check. We'll go ahead and launch that now. And once it gets connected to the FTP server, it'll do one of two things. Either it'll do what you're seeing here, which is give you a progress bar and show you the downloads taking place, or it'll tell you that you are up to date if the version of the live update file that's resident on your computer is the same version as the one that's on the Retriever Software FTP server. Now for Retriever Software's commercial applications, we also update our database as part of this process, and we update our standard Visual App Builder projects that are used for our commercial applications, such as our warehouse application and shipping and receiving, etc. There are a great deal of flexibility in this application for you as an independent developer to specify entries in your INI file to override some of those destinations, some of those properties. Check the Visual App Builder help file for the exact syntax on those INI file entries, and feel free to contact Retriever Software directly concerning any customization that you'd like to see take place to this to make it easier for you to support your customer directly using these mechanisms.